I think my opinion on the R160 getting eliminated off the is rather not true. But I want to say this, and I'm going to explain the reason why. R160s on 2nd Avenue were like more reliable. It was more helpful for the track. What I mean by helpful, it was more, how do I say it? It was more compatible. Yes, compatible. R68, okay, yeah, we know. Once R46s are fully off MTA's subway system, meaning that they get retired, the Q train is going to use R68s if the R160s are going to get retired. But here's the thing, right? In 2 years, R160s in 2 years, R68s are going to be retired, right? So, only option left is to put the R211s on the Q line if the R268s don't happen. Only options are to put the R211s on the Q. Here's the thing, right? I feel like on the B and D line or Atlantic Avenue, Barclays, the curve into 7th Avenue is too steep for R211. And sorry, I was in school while doing this. And the roof caves in. Once the roof caves in, being that the R211 is a little bit taller than R160s, it could scrape the top of the train. Now, R68s are good on the Brighton line, so as West End and or Sea Beach. But once R68s are retired, there's no line, there's like no train for the Q train. So they would either be forced to replace it, like discontinue it, or put R160s on it. Now, in my opinion, R160s are way more compatible than R46 and R68As and R68s on the 2nd Avenue line. And pretty soon we're getting the T, so we're gonna need some R160s for the Q and T once phase 3 or phase 4, whatever phase they're on, is complete. So I strongly disagree with R160s being eliminated off the Q, and even if they do that, it's not gonna be for a long time because they still have to go back on the Q, because there would be no R46, R68, R211s, R143s aren't running on the Q. I'm gonna tell you this. QBL, before R46 ran on the Q, QBL had some R46s from the R, so did Pitkin. So QBL and Pitkin loaned Coney Island some R46, and Coney Island loaned R160s to the G train, so did, I want to say, QBL. But my thing is that how do I say it? R68 slowly started getting retired because they used to be on the G. So did R46 and R68 slowly started getting retired before their due date. So once they were fully off the G line, they got put on the NQR. No, not the R, the NQ and W. That's why more frequently there's more R68s. No, R46 on the Q. Another thing with Broadway, right? R68s. R68s are not common. I say not common because you have a better chance of getting an R46 on over a R68. Now, right? Listen, now. R68s are more on the B and D. Always have been, never will change. That's because Broadway gave 6th Avenue R68As and R68. Yeah, that. Now that 6th Avenue has R68s on the B and D, more R46s are on the N and Q and W. Once those are done, bam, R160s back on the N and W. R160 stays on the R, and R211s are going on the R train. So once R211 goes on the R train, QBL will probably share some R160s with Coney Island, and Q train, NQ, and W trains have their R160s back. That reminds me to the W train, right? Once the W train came back in 2016, the cars, like the R160 cars that it was using was ex-R160 R train cars, because at the time R trains were running R46, right? And there weren't much R160s on the R. So QBL had, I want to say, a fuck ton of R46 and traded it to Coney Island. So did Picken, like I said earlier. And the R train gave the R46 to N, Q, and W. And the R160 cars that the W train was using, they got, they got transferred to the W. Not the W, they got transferred to the R. Boom. That's out the way. Concourse now. Once R68s are gone, it's going to be flooded with R142s, R142As, possibly R211s, right? I feel like R211s are more better on the B than the B, because the B and the Q still have to go on that curve after Atlantic, 7th Avenue. Alright? Now, R160s on the D and the B didn't work out. Mind you, it didn't work out because not fucking compatible. Not to mention, it's not compatible. So R68s are left. As soon as R46 get retired, R68s, R160, R160Bs, R161A, R162A, all of those, boom, straight to Broadway line. Now, once the R68s get retired, boom, R160s, R168s, R211s, straight to Broadway. And, right, while we wait for that to full on happen, no, say goodbye to R46, right? R46 are gone. Still gonna be in Picken Yard, but they're probably gonna be either used for refuser trains, transferring, and like retiring, like scrapping, and all that extra stuff, right? Once that's done, we all could be happy with R160s and R160B Simons. But before we get to that, we also have to discuss, it's like, I wouldn't say Coney Island Yard alone, but Jamaica Yard, right? So while Jamaica Yard and QBL are sitting here trading back R160s, R160A2 cars are probably most likely going to be on the J and Z, because I don't know if anybody caught it. We got Cosmo Rap, Myself Rap, the Mercury Rap, right? So Jamaica Yard and East New York Yard trading back R160s, like I said. When we get R160s on Broadway, that's like, I won't say that's when the real fun is coming. I mean, like, for an example, right? R46 gone. Imagine they can't use R68s on the A, C, or E train because they're gonna be retired. So once R16 once R46 / R68s are gone, we're only gonna have R211s and R179s. R179s from Picking Yard are going to give to the T train. So basically, the T train will be coming from Picking Yard. Now, being that we got R179s on the T, cool. Then we got R211s and R179s are gonna be AC. E trains are gonna normally use their R160s. L trains are gonna normally use their R143s. J trains, R143s, R160s, right? R trains, however, are going to possibly use R160s and use R211s, I think. Right? Only thing I'm worried about is the curve from J Street Metro Tech to DeKalb Avenue. Trains are going to have to run at really slow speeds, which is going to cause delays. But I honestly think that R160s are going to be put back on the queue because that's where it's rightfully belong, on the queue line. That closes everything out. I hope you guys like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. This is like my first time doing a video like this, so if it's bad, I'm sorry. But yeah, have a nice one, everybody, and enjoy your day. Still, R160s are getting put back on the queue. I don't care what nobody says. Y'all can hate all y'all want to.